got 3 hours. I got 3 hours left. I got 3 more hours. Lucky.
Yo.
Time play 3HR.
What's up? Welcome.
How you doing?
How you doing, bud?
Oh.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm good. I've literally just been for a run.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here, sweaty.
Ooh, that's wonderful.
About to have dinner.
That's a nice image.
Whew. Let's smash it out. Because we got a good one coming. A game near and dear to you and me.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I hadn't really thought about it until like half an hour ago, and it was just like playing over my mind the kind of things we can talk about. And I got out I still have the game on disc, so I got out the box. I was just thinking about like my whole journey with that game and that series. So I'm excited about talking about it.
You've got a good MGS story, I feel.
Yeah?
As far as like game stories go, and it's not like one you could make a short film about. Well, I mean, not like a really gripping one.
No, I don't think so.
But it's still like a nice story.
Yeah?
I think so. You just played them a lot. I love them.
Oh, yeah, I mean that's the basic story of it. So we're talking about Metal Gear Solid 4, which you played 3 hours of now?
Yeah, so I played like 2 hours, so I started afresh.
Cool, great.
I got like 2.5 hours in.
Yeah.
And I was like, instead of just continuing on through the desert, I was just thinking about the end of the game, and I was like, oh, that last fight was really cool. So I just went back to boot up an old save. And of course, I booted up my last save I have. But of course, oddly enough, it's one of those games which saves just after you beat the game.
Yeah.
So I was then forced. And then it was just like a series of cutscenes which I skipped all of, and then the credits started rolling, which you couldn't skip. The first credits.
Yeah, the first ones you can't. Yeah.
And then it brings up the scene of spoilers when actual Big Boss comes.
Yeah.
And I just watched that.
Yeah.
So I had like 2.5 hours of gameplay and then watched that final cutscene.
Yeah. It's crazy that like the epilogue is like half an hour long.
Yeah, it's insane. It took forever.
Kojima.
And all the cutscenes from after the final bit of gameplay is just non-stop.
Yeah, it's insane. It's like a whole movie after you finish the game.
The whole game is just crazy.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it in terms of structure.
Yeah, yeah.
And part of its charm. I mean, I enjoyed watching the cutscenes.
So when you started afresh, did you watch all the cutscenes?
Yeah.
How much gameplay ratio to video did you actually manage?
So I think at the start there's actually more.
But the thing about the start is that it's constantly interrupting with more.
It stops stuff.
Yeah.
One of the craziest things is it like shows you the introductory cutscene. You're on a truck. You get off the truck. You walk literally about 3 meters, and then there's another cutscene, and then you're back in the world. You pick up a gun, walk 3 meters, another cutscene.
Yeah.
And it's just super, super unnecessarily interrupty. And there are bits like at the start when a truck comes in and soldiers come out, and again just like disrupts everything. I think there's a lot that could have been done, just in the actual gameplay, to make it flow smooth, but
yeah, sure. Well, it's a really weird. So I guess I would like to talk about my experience with it the first time, which was I remember I bought it secondhand, which is it's weird to think that I've never paid Konami full price for a game that I played like billions of times. I bought it secondhand. I sold a phone and I got a new phone at Kex. And with that, I also had 40 quid or whatever it was, 30 quid.
We've had like back-to-back Kex mentions.
Yeah. I got MGS with it, which I had like seen. I watched like a trailer, which was like well after the game came out. I watched this really long, like 9-minute trailer. I downloaded it off PSN when you had to download videos off PSN. And I was like, what the hell is this? This looks crazy. And and I bought it, and I was just I was like overwhelmed by it as this thing, because at this point, this was still basically just after I'd stopped playing only driving games. This was 2008.
Yeah, that's when it was released.
And at that point, as we were talking about the last couple of weeks, like I was just playing like driving games, and just anything that was spooky or even kind of violent, I was just kind of too afraid to touch.
Really?
Yeah, like I had got into Assassin's Creed.
I know that, but I swear there was surely
a couple. Well, this was
big
like
ones
this
before
was
this.
starting to get through it, right? So like the first Assassin's Creed was really the first game that like got me into confrontation in video games, basically.
It's insane. That game just absolutely hit. I feel like, I don't know if it was just us or like everyone our age, but in such a major way.
Yeah, it was a huge deal for a lot of people, I think.
Mm.
And then
crazy.
I don't know. And then I just picked up Metal Gear Solid 4, and it just seemed like nothing I had ever like played before. I'd never really played a stealth game, or at least not one that complex. And I had never, and this was also still a time when I was mostly playing video games because I wanted to see the cutscenes, you know? So like, if you want a game where you get a lot of cutscenes, this is ideal. So I learned so I basically got a stealth game, which turns out to be one of my favorite sort of, if I had to pick a genre, like stealth games that are up there, and lots of cutscenes, and also just like the bizarre world of Hideo Kojima, like discovering that. It's just a crazy,
cool.
Yeah. Also the weird thing, and so I was going to say to your the opening section could be a little better. It's, at the time for me, I found it like quite a huge barrier to entry. I don't know about you, but the first time I played it, I found it like really hard to like pick up exactly what I was supposed to be doing.
It's like that, and also it's very odd in the fact that the first like 10-15 minutes is actually quite tricky. It's very, very linear. You have like zero equipment. It doesn't really explain the controls and CQC. You don't really know the sort of limits of how far enemies can see you, how aware they are. And like, it's tricky. I essentially ran through the first like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I got caught and I was like, I don't want to.
You just go.
And you don't take enough damage on like normal difficulty to just, you're able to run through it. So, but then you get stuff and it opens up a little bit more, and it becomes much more playable.
That series has always done like tutorials quite badly. And 4 basically just completely ignores the idea of any kind of tutorializing. Which like for me at the time, when I was younger and I just wasn't playing that many games, I just like, and a genre that I had never touched really before. It was just like, what the hell am I supposed to, like, I had no idea. And obviously you look at the manual, and that's what I was looking at just now. The manual is like humongous, and it has like this comic book inside it that gives you all the controls and stuff, and like it's just like crazy way of teaching you how to play a game. And the previous ones, like 3 and 2, they spend a lot more time telling you like press the action button, in the codex, but it still never really teaches you.
So
really
what you can call the codec at the very start, and it will give you some controls. But you don't know what the codec is at the start. Yeah. There's no suggestion. And if you press select, it brings up the control menu. But it'll be like L1 CQC. If you're going into that game blind, you have no idea what that is, what CQC is, which is like the melee attack. And then also it's got tons of really specific ways you can use it, which like messed me up tons and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, but also, it like, only I would be as stupid as to play Metal Gear Solid 4 as the first game of the series. Like, that is the worst one to start with.
Not at all, because it was just a thing of time.
Yeah, I guess so, but like, in terms of like...
we had PS3s, it came out on PS3.
Yeah.
Well, you weren't gonna...
No, sure.
Pick up a PS2 game.
Sure, but they just like... It's if you play Metal Gear Solid 3, you can immediately start playing Metal Gear Solid 4. But like it just even though the controls are like quite adjusted, it's still like you can pick up. At least you understand what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very deep. It just chucks you in. It's the sort of, and I mean you're better at explaining this than me, but the sort of game that was meant to answer a lot of questions, right?
Yeah, it's it spends the majority of its time just kind of filling in holes, basically, that Kojima wrote himself into.
Yeah.
And whether or not it did it successfully is like, there's a discussion for a whole different 3HR probably, because like, I don't know, I feel like I'd need to like play that game.
I mean, maybe we can. Yeah, we can always like come back to this thing if we need to.
Yeah, it's a really, it's like just a lot. It's a lot of fan service to the whole thing. It feels like every single plot detail or story beat is like a reference to something else that he's already done.
In the other games, there's a lot of that.
And it was, I mean, again, talking about like my first experience, it's a really interesting way to experience a story, like to experience the ending of a story first. You know, I read the last page of this book, basically, so I just got all the answers, but I had no idea what the questions were. And it's the same with you. You played this one I recommended it to you, right?
Yeah, non-stop.
Yeah.
Lucky, yeah.
It was just, and it's just all answers, and it's all nonsense. So it's just like, they were talking about like Fox Die, and like, and Naomi whatever is there. And I was like, who, what, why, when, constantly for every single thing.
Even now, even having played like, you know, so I've played now like part of 1, 2, 3, Peace Walker, like some 5.
Yeah.
Still, like a lot of those questions, I still am like, what is that?
I think I could answer almost all of them if you had any, but I think literally by playing the end first, just completely screwed. Because I played through 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, and 3. Not that long after I played 4, but I still didn't really understand. But I think if I had started with 1 and done it that natural way, I think I probably would have understood the story for the most part.
Pretty cleanly.
Yeah, but it is just absurd, and there's a lot of like crazy ideas as to what 4 was supposed to be, because 4 is like 4. I love 4, but it's also kind of a mess. You can sort of tell as soon as you start playing it, it's kind of a mess, right?
Yeah, I mean it's just kooky. It's a kooky game.
Yeah.
With an insane structure and just like a lot of really cool shit.
Yeah. And so I think because of that kookiness, people have spent a lot of time like theorizing just what it's supposed to be about. And like the thing that people talk about most of the time when they talk about like Hideo Kojima, who for people who don't know is like what people like to claim as like video games only auteur. So he's like this creative director of this series, and people love him to death. And he what was I saying? I completely lost my track of thought.
Was it about him walking into the Sony press conference?
So he's like created this whole series of games, and they're all written mostly by him, but I'm sure he's got a lot of help over the years.
And he doesn't and he's not very humble about it either.
No, he likes to put his name everywhere.
His name is everywhere, even in like cutscenes.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, so like it'll say a game by Hideo Kojima, Act 1, Hideo Kojima.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like on the walls of, so like on that box. Do you remember that box in the first cutscene with the watermelons in?
It says no place for Hideo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you would hope that like one of his team suggested that, you know, and he thought it was funny. Like you would hope he wouldn't be like, so my idea for this scene is I want to make a box and have a play on words.
I mean, I think it probably was.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, he's incredible. Like,
but yeah, so
that game.
Sorry.
Oozes cool.
Yeah. The thing I was saying, I just remembered what it was. So people talk about how since basically Metal Gear Solid, effectively he made Metal Gear Solid 1, people loved it, and then he had to make a sequel, and he kind of didn't want to. And then since that point, he's been making these sequels that he loves, but also feels like he wants to move on. Is a constant. Every single time he made one of these games, he would say, "This is my last one." And so people would read into that a lot. So 2 especially being the direct sequel, we don't have to go into 2 because that's a whole other discussion, but like that game's crazy for the way it, if you look at it from that angle, it's pretty insane. But you get to 4, and by this point, you have this idea of like Hideo Kojima being this sort of tired, old, outdated person that is relying so much on technology to like keep himself going. You know, like I think in interviews he would talk about how like, yeah, the only reason we're really making this game is because we will finally want to like use the power of the PlayStation 3. And then you have, so like obviously you have like that's related to Old Snake and how he's all old and he's using this sort of suit to keep his body upright and agile and stuff. And then you have this character Johnny Sasaki, who in the old games is just a comic relief character who has diarrhea or irritable bowel syndrome.
In 4.
And he's just pooping in Metal Gear Solid 1, and I think in 2, and probably in 3 as well, which doesn't make any sense, but he's probably in 3. And in 4, he is this, he's revealed to be this sort of handsome, young, very capable version, effectively, of like what Solid Snake is at this point. And like, I can't remember exactly what like that's supposed to mean, but it's like there's just so 4 is just a fascinating, bizarro game with like just millions of theories chucked around. And that I've spent like time like reading that bullshit just because I just think it's like it's pretty tasty.
Oh, it's so interesting! Like all the fan theories are so normally quite fun.
Yeah, that stuff is always really good.
The games are also just like super cool. Mm-hmm. Like the amount of just stuff that's just so unique to those worlds that you just forget about as well. Like the Metal Gear Mark II, so you get this little robot that follows you around. Like the animations on that thing, and just like playing that thing feels so good. And then he whips out a PS3 controller to control it. Like the whole thing just feels so good.
Yeah, I think that stuff is definitely the stuff that like would keep me coming back to those games. Is those just like tiny little touches that are just everywhere, constantly. Like I remember like googling like Easter egg lists, of games, and like if you go to like Metal Gear Solid's Easter egg list, it's just humongous.
Keeps on going.
It's like packed with all these ridiculous little things that you can do, things that you didn't realize you could like affect and appeal. Yeah.
This thing as well, this little robot, it's jumping upstairs animation is so good. It like squints, it jumps, he like flaps his little camera screen.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing I was thinking about, did you play this on normal?
Mm-hmm.
The thing I was thinking about, one of the other mechanics this game has that the other ones don't is the psych meter.
Yeah, your stress levels.
Which is something that I don't think I've seen in any other games until, like, I guess all these survival games started coming up, so that's basically what that is. But, so the way it works is, I think Kojima was trying to, like, talk about, like, PTSD and just general, like, war makes people unhappy is effectively what he's trying to say with this.
I don't know what happens when it hits 0. Do you lose health?
You start slowly depleting health, I think. And as it gets lower, your aim is more shaky and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Sort of like dumb stuff like that. But so it's got this like ridiculous sort of survival meter, but on like normal difficulty, you don't really have to worry about it too much. It's when you bump the difficulty up where it just starts like, I think when you're in direct sunlight, it starts depleting, and stuff like that.
Oh, stress.
Yeah. So like you have to get into shade, which is not the same thing as like someone going through shell shock, but there you go. But yeah, like,
like really hard.
It's amazing because I think that meter shows like the weird duality of like these games where you'll have this sort of like, we're trying to go for some like serious mechanic to explain this character, but also using that same mechanic, if you call one of the characters on the codec and shake the controller, her boobs jiggle, and then the meter goes back up. So it's just it's like this insanely ridiculous combination of things, of just being like, So I want to tell this serious story with these dumb mechanics, but also I'm a child. I'm a child man, and I need to do this in my game.
That's pretty much it.
I need to use the 6-axis controller somehow.
Got to wobble, man.
God, that was just so, I remembered
Snake.
stumbling across that little Easter egg, and just it's so ridiculous.
Yeah. Also, another thing that's cool, like, just the look and everything in the UI in this game is actually so cool.
Yeah? Can you describe it? I don't think I can, like, specifically.
So it's sort of quite digital, and everything sort of done in, like, red and blue, like, sort of filled in line art with sort of translucent. It's like, yeah, it's all like red and blue translucent line art for all the items and weapons and everything, and then it's all very boxy, and it's kind of like an old camcorder menu sort of thing in a lot of ways. So you flick through and it like beeps. It's all very mechanical. It's got sort of pixel text, but the way it all comes together just looks so nice.
Yeah, those beeps and boops are like drained into my mind.
Yeah. And then you just hold it when you're panicking.
Yeah. Is it when you're like changing weapons and stuff, is it on like a dial or is it on like the shoulder buttons like the other games?
So you press R2 for weapons, L2 for items, and then you press left and right on the left analog stick.
Yeah.
To flick between them.
Yeah, and they like go up and down the screen on the left and right. Right?
Yeah. So it goes
system.
Up. It goes across. So for the weapons, it goes right along the bottom and then up the screen.
Yeah.
And it's all like, and your health is like orange and stuff. I don't know. It looks good. Looks real good.
I've always really liked that weapon select. I don't know why no one's ever done that other than
the
Solid series. It's like a really nice little. It feels very crunchy.
Yeah, stops time.
Yeah, it's good.
Give you time to flick between it. And same with items. You can fill out your items. I also kind of like how you can't get everything, but it's a really good way of like choosing what you want by selecting your loadout. Felt good. You know what was funny in this game? So not long ago played Fallout 4 to where you open it up and it's like war.
Yeah.
War. Is that is Fallout 4, isn't it?
That's
it's
Fallout
like
in general.
war.
That's their line.
War never changes.
Yeah.
And then the first line in this game is war.
Yep.
It's changed.
Yep. War's changed. It's good stuff.
Yeah, made me laugh. And also, one thing I never noticed as well is so in, like when you press start, it brings up all these extra like little bits of information that you don't need to know, like temperature, humidity. It shows like what direction you're heading, and then there's also one for weather. And under weather, in like just the nice sun of where is it, Afghanistan?
I don't know.
In the first act.
Yeah, something like that.
It just says fine. Weather's fine.
Weather's fine.
Weather's fine, and that's just throughout as well.
Just don't. It's fine.
God, and also the music is so good. Just the sound in general in these games.
Yeah.
And it's insane that you also when you swap between like acts, you have to install.
Yeah, that is crazy.
The disc onto the game. Like I was like, okay, let's play the last thing, and then I was like, oh yeah. You have to wait to install this final act.
Yeah, sit here for 3 minutes while it installs.
Yeah.
While he smokes his cigarette. Yeah, it's
nutty.
I don't know if I've ever seen anyone else do that as well. It's just the way they figured out to use the PS3. I guess it's just like limitation. I mean, there's no loading when you're playing.
True.
I'd rather just take like a huge load at the start, I guess. But then you'd have to. I don't know.
I don't mind it. Yeah. It's kind of like a nice way to signal that you're progressing.
Yeah, it's a nice way to break it up.
It's like, okay, I can put Act 1 behind me.
Yeah.
This is like a full new chapter.
Yeah. And all the chapters are really, unlike the other games, all the chapters are really distinct. It's like you're very much playing a different part of that game each act.
I mean, it's very doable as well because it's very corridory.
Yeah, super.
And so it's just like these different set pieces that you go through around the world and things happen.
Yeah,
which I kind of like for stealth games, because with 5 it's, you know, when you're approaching from, and at the same time I love it. I love in 5 where you approach from ages away because it kind of gives you that whole scale. But it definitely feels more manageable when it's just like a small set area, and if you do die, you can just approach it from the same way.
Yeah, I mean it's more puzzly when it's linear like that.
Yeah,
it's more like
definitely.
There's only really one or two ways to get through this. You have to figure out what it is. Whereas like MGS5 is just about like experimentation and like fiddling around,
using a ton of cool things which you'll never actually use.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Did you how far did you get through MGS5?
I don't know.
No idea.
I played it like a year ago.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's hard. It's hard because there isn't
ago.
much story, I guess, so you don't really know where you were.
Yeah, and that's what I want.
Yeah, that is what.
And also, it's one of those games where, like, whenever I played it, it was just so much more appealing to take on the little bite-sized missions than the big missions.
Yeah.
Because with stealth games, like, when you mess up, it sucks, and that's a lot easier to happen on a big mission. So I just kept doing the little bite-sized missions. I've got like 40 hours, and I'm just nowhere.
Yeah, I think
because I just did every side mission.
Like the main. Yeah. It's probably like another 20, 30 hours to finish, maybe. Maybe less. I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's doable. I'll do it one day. I want to play Mario.
Have you not got it yet?
That's what I want to do. No, we don't have any money.
Oh, mate.
I know.
It's fine. You can come to that game whenever and love it. There's no rush.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, but it's one of those games. It's like it's immediately timeless. So like, it's not like a big deal to like.
Wait.
Yeah.
I mean, the price is. It's not like I'm gonna save any money by waiting.
No, that's true. It will be that price forever.
It's crazy how that'll just stop you from playing some games. Like, I never played the Galaxy games just because I didn't buy them initially and I didn't really want to pay full price. Like a year later. But whatever.
I liked the Galaxy games. I didn't finish either of them, but I didn't love them. Like everyone else seemed to, I guess. But I guess I'm just not like as big a Mario fan as other people.
Also, Joe got a Switch the other day.
Oh yeah?
He crumbled. Yeah, so you got another one.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so more and more people are getting Switches.
That's good.
Yeah, I saw my first one on a train the other day.
Oh wow, it's happening.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I have a lot of memories as well of Metal Gear Solid 5, of mainly you and Jem.
Jem loved it.
Just like telling me all the cool things you could do. And I'd just be like, that does sound cool. And I remember I tried to find that game cheap for ages.
Yeah.
For ages and ages, but like I just never found it cheap. And then I want to say I maybe got it in Australia. One sec, let me get my case.
He's getting his case. I'm gonna fill time. I'm a bit sleepy, so I don't know if I really have the energy to fill time.
Hang on. Hey,
man.
I like leaving you. I like leaving you on the podcast.
Yeah, I have to do something.
Yeah, I like it.
It's stressful.
Pre-owned. I don't know where. I think I got it in Australia, I want to say. Because they're on PAL as well.
I remember you getting. I can't remember you getting. I mean, I remember telling you to get it a lot, basically.
A legendary soldier, a final mission, the ultimate sacrifice.
Dude, crack out that game manual. It's humongous.
It's here.
It's
It's chunky. It's got some nice fake snake print on the front. And like all the art in this game is incredible.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that game. I mean, I guess I didn't play it, so it'd be good to hear your opinion. But like, I feel like that game has probably aged really, really well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It just like
looks fine.
The character models and stuff just look kind of great.
Oh, they look fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks great. It's chunky. You can call me Drebin.
Drebin was horrendous.
He was alright.
No, Drebin's terrible. Drebin just tells you a lot of rubbish that you don't understand, ever.
Listen to this. What to do if. They've got a what to do if section in the manual.
That's good.
They've got what to do if I keep dying, question mark. And then it's got subsections. I want to restore my life. Use a recovery item such as a ration, page 24. What if the enemy keeps spotting me? What if the enemy is blocking the way forward?
Wow. Yeah, that is not how you do a tutorial.
What if it's too dark to see? The camera is too hard to control. Okay. What do they say for that?
Probably just like adjust the...
Adjust cameras, yeah. Also, one thing I thought was a bit weird was with that night vision goggle that you get, it's just almost necessary to go through the whole game in that night vision goggle.
Because you can see the humans.
Yeah.
Yeah, it like points out.
There'll be like a human, like someone sniping from a window, and you'll just have no idea that they're there because they're a little, green-brown speck in a browny-green window ages away from you, and they have full vision over you. And you walk out and you just instantly get spotted, but then as soon as you put your night vision goggles on, they become like a bright white spot on a big normal building.
Yeah.
A bit crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think I gotta go.
Oh, okay, man.
Good stuff though.
Yeah, good pod. Good potty.
Good pod.
We'll record same time next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Or whenever throughout the week. Can I give you a game to play next week?
If you've got one.
Not yet.
Okay.
But I'll think of a goodie.
Yeah, if you let me know, I'll play it.
Okay, rad.
As it goes. All right, man. Good speaking to you.
This has been Time Played 3HR.
SoundCloud, iTunes.
It's me, Lockie. SoundCloud, iTunes.
Have a good week.
Email, YouTube, whatever.
Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Peace.